Alright, Doctor Who, in regards to his character development through each incarnation, he just sees so much bloodshed and again, the best way I can put it, just the unfairness of the universe towards this man who's trying to be fair, and it just takes a toll on him. It makes him seem indecisive, and that's to his enemies, and I think even to himself he worries about that. That's why when he's born into the Sixth Doctor, he's going to be decisive. He's going to be the man who calls the shots. He's going to be the man who knows exactly what to do. He's going to be the man who will be listened to. I know what to do here. He doesn't mean it in a bad way, no. He just knows that we have a responsibility here. We have a task here. We have something we need to do here, and I have the answers, and I cannot see any more of this unfairness go on. Sometimes you have to push a little in order to help that. And that's one of the biggest things Six has to unlearn. He is an overcorrection. He overcompensates. Everything he does is overcompensation. Bland tastes, biggest taste. Bland taste in outfit, biggest taste in outfit. Colors everywhere, big, bold, loud. You will see me. You will hear me. I'm going to be the one who will step into the situation and I'm going to fix it. Okay? I'm not going to walk in there anymore and say, oh, okay, well, let's try and figure out this situation. No, I'm going to know exactly what we need to do. That's also one of his biggest flaws. Again, he has to unlearn. It's okay to have an open mind sometimes. There is a balance in decisiveness and open-mindedness. He has to learn that. But as far as the Sixth Doctor and what he's born into, he has to be enough. Like I said, he has to be the one with the answers. He has to be the one that takes the charge. He has to be the best one in the room to fix the situation. Everyone has to listen. He has to be the one to have the answers, and if not, it's a bit of a fault. Once again, these are the biggest things he has to unlearn. The Sixth Doctor is born out of needing to be the best person for the situation, and completely selflessly. That's the biggest thing. The Sixth Doctor is probably the most selfless Doctor out of all of them, and I will die on that hill. He may be stubborn and arrogant and seem self-conceited and egocentric, but all of it, is because this being is letting himself be, this incarnation is letting himself be, specifically, the agent of a protector for the whole universe. He doesn't live for himself. Yeah, he'll have his small moments here and there. We'll go fishing or something, but in a few audios it's even implied that he stopped fishing because he realized it was unfair to the fish. He's protecting the fish. He realized it was hurting them. He is a Doctor who will seem annoyed by anyone who gets in his way, but he doesn't want anyone to die or get hurt. Early in his life, he did take a few lives. He chloroformed Shockeye. He shot the Cyber Leader to death, but he was not the first. It seems starting off that he is a Doctor who is willing to take a life if he has to, and I think he believed he had to be. And I think in equally of an amount of time, he realized that it's just as unfair as otherwise. Consistently for this incarnation throughout his entire incarnation's life, he is more likely to hand you over to somebody who will throw the book at you or put you into a stasis where you can think about what you did for a long time, rather than actually kill you. That itself is something he very quickly outgrows. It's not something that should define him. Because throughout his life, he works on himself, he humbles, he becomes almost a father figure to Flip and Constance. And the biggest thing is, he doesn't just get humbled. He grows to a point where he allows himself to be. That's a big difference, because one happens unconsciously. One is self-awareness at its most. He becomes a Doctor defined by his moral code, and not just any moral code, his moral code. He is the Doctor who is the most sure of himself, for better and for worse. And that's another thing he learns too, that sometimes it's okay to adjust that. Be sure of where you stand, of course, but don't be afraid to adjust. That's the biggest things I've always learned from this Doctor. And that's why it's tragic when his morals die with him. Now, real fast, the Sixth Doctor tries to hold on to that moral code as much as possible. Everything he's learned, he's improving, he's becoming better, he's learning to balance so much better everything. These two together have a huge character arc together, but it's also a trilogy. Because we have responsibility. This man knows he needs it, but isn't sure of how to balance that. This man overcompensates and overcorrects himself as a person because of what he endured through the universe's unfairness while being this guy. Not 100% having everything figured out. And what happened? He doubled down. To fight an unfair universe, he got confused and he became too fair. He became too stuck in his ways, too arrogant, too strict in the fairness of which he was fighting for, that it became not what he was even fighting for anymore. And he had to balance that. He really needed to balance that throughout his life. And through all of the companions he ever had, this Doctor having so many specifically for himself that really helped him along the way, he learned to balance that mostly. He was a doctor always working on himself. He never had it 100%. But he's a doctor who lived his life taking what he had learned with him and keeping that best as possible, always on his feet and allowing people to humble him. But at a certain point, that unfair universe can kick back in, and you can let your own morals subside once more. It's a constant cycle of life. And the Seventh Doctor is born out of that one. Now, not that the Seventh Doctor does not have morals. He does. The Seventh Doctor has his moral code.